You get back from the gym after a hard-hitting workout, good weight training session that lasted you 3 hours, so naturally you're sore. So you go and cook yourself up a nice breakfast, make some coffee, and you're sitting there while you're drinking your cup of coffee and you're asking yourself, what are the best post-workout muscle recovery things that you can do? So you come across some article online that says cryotherapy may be something that can help you. It can help reduce inflammation and increase muscular repair. But because you're a member of the science behind that podcast, you ask yourself, is that really true? So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the science behind that.
Welcome to The Science Behind That with Atticus Hamilton.
Hello, all you scientists out there, and welcome on back to The Science Behind That podcast. I'm your host, and look, I know I've been gone, but this was not like one of the random breaks that I took last year for no reason. This was because a couple big things happened to me in my life. Number one is that I graduated, so that's awesome. You know, I'm very happy to finally be done with college, be done with being an undergraduate. I'm happy to get, my career started, etc. Pretty much right after I graduated, I moved out of my old apartment into the new place that you guys saw on my YouTube video, which is pretty awesome as well. So I'm back now, though, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be back for the foreseeable future. But you know what? Let's just jump right into today's episode. I hope you guys have your nice steaming hot cup of coffee right next to you. Add a little bit of maple syrup in it. Not too much, just a little bit to bring out those autumn flavors, because as you guys know, autumn is my favorite time of year. So, cryotherapy. Sorry, you may hear the plane. My windows are open because it's hot here. So cryotherapy, what is cryotherapy? Cryotherapy is simply a term for a group of medical treatments that, for a variety of different things, that involves the use of extreme cold. Now, this could be, ice baths, this could be cold showers, this could be ice immersion, this could be standard cryotherapy, When nowadays, if you go to like a cryotherapy treatment center, what they're going to do is they're going to put you in this tank, and it's going to chill the air down around you till it's like really, really cold, and that's their type of cryotherapy. So there's a lot of different types of cryotherapy. All of it serves the same goal, which is, or at least the idea is, that acute cold exposure over a long period of time increases the efficiency and the rate of muscular repair and increases the immune response and decreases inflammation acutely. So on today's episode then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break down all of those things, those three things, and find out if they're really valid. So let's start with the first one, increasing the rate of muscular repair. So this one is kind of tricky because there's not a lot of research out there. But the little research that does exist out there suggests that cryotherapy reduces acute inflammation during times of muscular stress. Some of these muscular stress examples would be like coming back from the gym after a real hard workout. As we know, that tears myocytes, and during the process of a myocyte tear, that releases very unique proteins into the blood. And those proteins can be immunogenically stimulating or immunogenic. And in that instance, that excites the immune system, and the immune system recognizes those proteins as a pathogenic threat for whatever reason, and produces all these cytokines. And that interferes with the ability of the muscles to repair. So, we know that cryotherapy reduces localized inflammation, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit in more detail. But for now, just remember that. That's important. Now, what actually happens when we tear a muscle? Well, I've talked about this on this podcast before. What happens is when a myocyte is torn, it releases special proteins and compounds that activate fibroblasts. And these fibroblasts come along and they fuse myocytes together with this very, very special type of keloid tissue that's predominantly composed of collagen. That is why I drink collagen every day for my joint and muscle health, my articular health. And you should too. But anyway, so they fuse the muscles together with collagen and actin and a little bit of myosin, and that increases muscular strength over time. But the job of doing that becomes more difficult if there's localized inflammation. So cryotherapy, because it reduces localized inflammation, in a way, I guess, it increases muscular repair efficiency. Now, does it increase the rate of repair? No. There's no evidence to suggest that cryotherapy increases the rate of muscular repair. It just increases the efficiency of muscular repair. And it's kind of an indirect relationship there, and that's important to note. That is something that is important to be aware of, that cryotherapy is not directly increasing the efficiency of muscular repair. It's indirectly doing so by downregulating the localized immune response acutely. So now that we know that, and now that we know a little bit about the immune response that occurs when there is a muscular tear, let's talk about how cryotherapy actually downregulates the immune response. So in a research paper that was published back in 2019, it was titled An Investigation in Cryotherapy's Effectiveness for Tibialis Anterior Injury in Rats. Scientists took a bunch of rats and they cut open their thighs, not their thighs, their leg, and they damaged the tibialis anterior muscle. And then they exposed those rats to cryotherapy. Now, I believe their type of cryotherapy was basically submerging the rat leg in ice, and they looked at the rate of muscular repair, the efficiency of the repair, and the localized immune response. And what was determined was that the localized immune response was significantly decreased. In particular, the muscular perfusion rate of macrophages was significantly decreased. So what does that mean? Well, macrophages, as we know, because we've talked about them before on this podcast, they are a type of phagocytic cell that goes around the body looking for antigens and other nasty things to eat. And if it finds something, it'll eat it and release cytokines. Now, these cytokines are pro-inflammatory molecules that excites an immune response. And in the case of muscular repair, what happens is, you recall how we talked about those proteins that are released from a torn muscle that signal the fibroblasts to come to work? Well, they also excite macrophages for whatever reason. And when that occurs, the macrophages release all these cytokines, and that triggers a systemic immune response to this area, to the damaged muscle area, which can slow the rate of muscular repair. Now, I think the big question that you guys are asking then is, why does cryotherapy reduce the perfusion of macrophages? And I'm not actually 100% sure, and it doesn't seem like the research out there is 100% certain either. But what I could give you is my educated guess. My educated guess would be because cryotherapy constricts the arteries and veins. And so because it constricts the arteries and veins, it's going to be a lot harder for macrophages to perfuse out of the arteries and veins into the muscle because they're being constricted by the cold around them. And this kind of seamlessly leads us right into the third and final item here, which is how does cryotherapy increase your immune system effectiveness over a long term? So how does it do that over the long term? Well, the short answer there is we don't really know. Now, the research does show that individuals who undergo cryotherapy on a regular basis do experience an increase in immune system effectiveness against pathogenic threat. And not just that, but against autoimmune diseases as well. So patients with autoimmune diseases experience decreased symptoms after undergoing regular cryotherapeutic treatments. The question is why? And I'm not sure if we really know the answer to that, honestly. There's a lot of research that's going into that right now, but so far there's very little actual information as to what is the biochemical or the physiological mechanisms behind how cryotherapy is able to increase the effectiveness of the immune response. And I don't really even have a hypothesis for you on that one. All that we do know is that it does show, or it does appear that cryotherapy does increase the effectiveness of the immune response. So I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but if you guys are still worried about any diseases around you, like the coronavirus, definitely consider also doing cryotherapy as an extra boost to your immune system to help you live long, happy, and healthy lives. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you today. Join me again on Monday. This, of course, was the last episode on our sports/health specific mini-series, but join me again on Monday for the next episode of the Science Behind That podcast. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm gonna go celebrate my birthday this Saturday, so that's awesome. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on Monday. Remember, stand up and question everything.